Yo, what's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be going over the NBA slate on DraftKings and Yahoo for Thursday, January the 31st. We got a 6-game Thursday slate. I'm going to go through each position, talk about some of the guys that I like at each position on this six-gamer. I'll give my 5 plays as well, 5 guys for DraftKings and 5 for Yahoo. 5 players specifically for each site. The 5 plays may vary between sites depending on pricing. We'll work our way through the player pool, though, talk about some dudes that I like at each position. Before we do get started, though, I would appreciate it if you would drop a like on the video, and if you are new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below, so that way you don't miss out on any of my new uploads. But looking at point guard today, we got Steph Curry at the top. He's 8,900, gets a matchup against the Sixers, and I really like this spot for Steph Curry. Curry is rarely somebody that I play, but I think this is a matchup where Curry can thrive. We've kind of seen this year that point guards that have a scoring first game, kind of that have a really good offensive game, have been able to do well against the Sixers. And I think in a game like this, where you have two teams that are obviously two of the better teams in the league, this game should be close, even though it has a 9.5-point spread. We're obviously not going to see the Warriors be favored by only like 1 or 2 points, which is how good they are. But a 9.5-point spread is good enough to where I think this game stays competitive, to where you're getting your full minutes out of Curry, Clay, KD, all them. The Sixers guys should play full minutes as well. This game obviously has a ton of appeal. 240 total right now, the highest total on the slate. So love this spot for Curry. Love him on both sites. $42 on Yahoo. He's actually cheaper than Ben Simmons on Yahoo, and I would definitely prefer Curry there. On DraftKings, he's the most expensive point guard, but not by much. Only $300 more than Ben Simmons. And I just really like Curry. I think this is a game where he does really well at home. I think you can run it back with maybe someone like Embiid, or if you want to play Ben Simmons, you could do that. Jimmy Butler's been playing really well lately, and I think this is a matchup where Jimmy Butler is going to be needed defensively, so we could see big minutes out of him. I think he probably plays well. Just a lot of guys from this game are pretty appealing, but obviously these guys are really expensive, so we're definitely going to need to try and find some cheaper plays that we can work around some of the studs from that game. Not necessarily value at point guard, but if we're going to this mid-range, I don't mind Rajon Rondo at 7K. He burned me last slate. I played a lot of Rondo in the last slate. He was like 6,700. It was a good spot for him against the Sixers. I really liked Rondo there, and he only put up 30 DraftKings points. He did play big minutes again, though, 36 minutes out of Rondo. I imagine if this game is competitive, we get about 36, 38 minutes out of Rondo again. So even at 7K, still like me some Rajon Rondo today. If I'm playing a mid-range point guard, whether I'm choosing between like Lou Will, Kyle Lowry, Rondo, Bledsoe, I think Rondo would be the guy that I would go to. Lou Williams next, and then Lowry I don't really have much interest in. Bledsoe at 6,600 I guess you could go to, but don't really have much interest in him either. But let's talk about some cheaper plays here. Really like Dennis Smith Jr. The guy's been playing really well lately. Ever since coming back from injury, the Mavericks have been giving him big minutes. He's played 37, 36, and 31 minutes last 3 games. And on Wednesday night against the Knicks, he had a triple-double, played big minutes again. Guys have been playing really well lately. It's a great matchup against the Pistons. Pistons have not been good defensively against point guards this year. Love Dennis Smith Jr. on Yahoo as well. One of my favorite plays. He's one of the top values, in my opinion, at just $14. He is still way too cheap on Yahoo. You can see this line he put up. Only 28 minutes in that game against the Knicks. Did blow out. I thought he played more minutes than that. Just 28 minutes against the Knicks, but obviously due to blowout. But he had 42 fantasy points, 13, 10, and 15. Just a big game from DSJ. I think we see another solid game out of DSJ, and where he's still remotely cheap on both sides, especially on Yahoo. If you want to get away from him on DraftKings, I think that makes sense, but where he's just $14 on Yahoo, I'm going to be playing him in a ton of my lineups over there. The only reason I don't think you need to play DSJ on DraftKings because you do have Patrick Beverley for $200 cheaper, and I do really like Patrick Beverley a lot. The guy's been playing big minutes lately with Gallinari out. He's been playing really well. Been grabbing more rebounds as of late, double-digit rebounds in 2 straight games, double-digit points as well. He's got a double-double in 2 straight games, 36 and 38 minutes as well that he's played the last 2 games. And also, Avery Bradley is questionable for this game. There's a chance Avery Bradley misses, and if Avery Bradley sits, that should just mean even more minutes for Patrick Beverley. Love him here against the Lakers. This is another game that has a lot of appeal. Both of these late-night games, these 10:30 games, are probably 2 of the more appealing games on the slate when you just talk about pace that should be played, 2 games that should be high-scoring and should be competitive. So love Beverley from the Clippers. I think we get another pretty solid game out of him. I would not be surprised if he gets another double-double. Been playing really well with Gallinari out, and Gallinari is going to remain out for this game. If Avery Bradley sits, I think if you want to play SGA at 4K as a value, you could definitely go there. But let's go ahead and move on to shooting guard and look at this position. Don't really have a ton of interest in these top plays. I think my favorite play here would probably be Jimmy Butler at 7,400. I think Butler would definitely be a guy I wouldn't mind paying up for. I want to talk about Brandon Ingram on Yahoo. On DraftKings, it's a little bit tough to play him at 7,300. I think I would rather play Jimmy Butler if I had to choose between those two guys. But on Yahoo, where he's at shooting guard, and he's $27, I really like him a lot. He's the same price as Lou Williams, and I also think Lou Williams is a really good play. But if I have to choose between the two, I'm definitely going to roll with Brandon Ingram. He's been balling lately with Kuzma out. He's been playing big minutes as well. Last two games with Kuzma out, he's put up over 40 fantasy points in both games, 42 against the Suns, 46 against the Sixers. The scoring's been up for Ingram, and I think we continue to see him put up big numbers if Kuzma sits today. Even if Kuzma plays, I think you can still go to Brandon Ingram. He's going to benefit with LeBron out in general. If Kuzma sits, it's just an even bigger boost for Ingram. But if Kuzma plays and you want to go elsewhere, you have Lou Williams at the same price, who's obviously a really good option as well. But love Brandon Ingram on Yahoo. On DraftKings, a little bit tougher to play him at 7,300. I think I'd probably play Jimmy Butler over him if I had to choose between those two guys specifically. Clay at 5,800 as a price play definitely stands out to me in a fast-paced, high-scoring game that should be competitive. You can definitely take a shot on Klay Thompson at 5,800. Wouldn't mind going to him. Napier's been playing really well off the bench. I think you can definitely go with Napier today, even though it's not the best matchup against the Spurs. The minutes have been there for him. He's played at least 25 minutes in 3 straight games with Spencer Dinwiddie out. Been pretty productive as well. I think he's still cheap on Yahoo. He is $17 over here. Would definitely prefer you try and find the $2 to either get up to Beverly, or you could just go down to Dennis Smith Jr., but still don't mind Napier at 17 on Yahoo. Don't mind him on DraftKings at 5,300, but I don't think he's going to be a core play for me today. That's probably it, though, for shooting guard plays that I see. So let's go ahead and move on to small forward. Look at this position. We got Giannis and Kawhi at the top here, both going up against each other. Also have KD as well. Giannis, surprisingly, has actually done well this year against Kawhi. They've faced off twice, and Giannis has averaged 64 DraftKings points through 2 games against the Raptors, which is kind of surprising. At 10-6, though, I don't think I'm going to be paying up for him a ton on the slate. Embiid is cheaper. Embiid is $500 cheaper, and I think I would prefer Embiid. Embiid did get hurt in that last game, but he came back, so I imagine he plays today. I would be surprised if he sits, especially for a big-time game against the Warriors. But Giannis, I guess you could go to, would just prefer Embiid, though, straight up. Like I said, Embiid's $500 cheaper. Like the matchup more for Embiid. I just don't see how Giannis has a ton of success against Kawhi, even though he has so far this year. I don't think that really keeps up, so probably going to be avoiding Giannis on this slate. At least just not going to be a guy that I go too heavy on. I'm going to have some exposure to him because it's sort of a shorter slate, and there's really not many studs to pay for. And there's definitely some good cheap plays I like that make it easy to fit in Giannis, but I'm not going to be playing Giannis in like 50 to 60% of my lineups. Just don't think that's really necessary today. At small forward, really the guy that I like here would probably be Jimmy Butler. In that mid-range, like I said, I mentioned him. Don't see myself paying up for like Kawhi or KD. Ben Simmons at 8,600, really not going to go there. Tobias Harris at 8,500, I don't really like with that price increase. I would rather play Ben Simmons for just 100 more. Kind of the same with Luka Doncic. I think I'd rather play Simmons over Doncic. But I do like Butler in this mid-range. I think he's going to be a guy that I play a lot of at this position. Looking for value here, though. Not really any value stands out to me at this position. Like DeRozan's expected to come back, so I don't think we want to play Bertans. Beasley's been pretty iffy. You never know what kind of production you're going to get from Beasley. Plus DraftKings raised his price up to 4,500, so it's really hard to go to him. Small forward for me, probably going to be playing some Jimmy Butler here. If I play Giannis, obviously I'll probably play him as small forward. Maybe if I do go to Brandon Ingram, I could play him at this position. If Kyle Kuzma plays today at 6,900, I think he is definitely an option you could consider. But let's go ahead and move on to power forward and look at power forward today. So at this position, I see some plays that stand out to me. I don't love their prices, like LaMarcus Aldridge. Love his matchup against Brooklyn. Great spot for Aldridge, but DeRozan's expected to come back. And with how well Aldridge has played with DeRozan out, DraftKings has bumped Aldridge's price up quite a bit. He's up to 8,300 now. I don't think he really needs to go there on this slate, especially with DeRozan coming back, even though it's a good spot. 8,300 for 8,300 for Aldridge with DeRozan healthy seems like sort of an overpay. I'd probably take the savings, go down to a guy like Montrezl Harrell, $1,500 cheaper. Great spot for him against a fast-paced Lakers team. I do like Montrezl Harrell at power forward. He really stands out to me at this position. Draymond Green as well at 6,200. Just feels too cheap for the upside that he has and that he brings on a nightly basis. I imagine he guards Embiid for some of this game where Cousins is not on the floor. They're going to have Draymond Green out there, most likely guarding Embiid. So see him play in big minutes, 6,200 for Draymond. I do like him quite a bit at power forward. But that's probably it for this position. That's probably where I see myself going, is to the guys I talked about. So let's go ahead and move on to center. Definitely some good plays at center today. Obviously starting off at the top, Embiid here at 10-1 against the Warriors. I really, really like. It's definitely not like an exceptional matchup because DeMarcus Cousins should be able to handle with Embiid, should be able to defend Embiid pretty well here. I don't see Embiid just like rolling over DeMarcus Cousins. 10-1 though, where he's cheaper than Giannis. I really like Embiid, especially since I like Curry, and I'm probably going to be having like little mini game stacks this game where I play like 2 Warriors and then 2 Sixers. I'll probably have a couple lineups where I have Embiid and Curry together. Do like paying up for Embiid, but there are some good plays for cheaper. I think Andre Drummond for 2K cheaper is really, really interesting. I like this spot a lot for Andre Drummond. I like him a lot on Yahoo as well. He's pretty cheap over here, just $32. He's $6 cheaper than Aldridge. He's $8 cheaper than Vooch, $18 cheaper than Joel Embiid. Definitely like me some Andre Drummond over on Yahoo. I like him on both sides. I don't see him being very popular today because of all the other centers you have on this slate. Like I said, this is a matchup where I think Drummond really thrives. I like to take Drummond when he's going to be going up against centers like DeAndre Jordan that stay under the rim, camp under the rim, and kind of let Andre Drummond do the same. Where he's going up against centers like I saw in that matchup against Milwaukee. He did pretty well, which was kind of surprising. In a matchup with Brook Lopez, that was concerning for me because Lopez can shoot the three, he can stretch the floor, and kind of take Andre Drummond away from the basket, take away his opportunity for rebounds. But Drummond still did good in that matchup against Milwaukee. These teams did just play on the 25th, and Drummond put up 23 and 13, 48 DraftKings points in 38 minutes against the Mavericks. I just really like Drummond here. Just think he's going to be camped under the basket a lot, going to have a lot of opportunity for rebounds. Obviously, they're going to need him to defend DeAndre Jordan. So, like going to Andre Drummond at 8,100. Think he can easily give you 6x value on that price tag at the center position. Mentioned Harrell. I like him a lot if you want to play him at center. Draymond Green as well at 6,200. And then I do want to talk about the centers from the Lakers. So right now it looks like Zubac's going to continue to start and continue to play solid minutes if he's playing well. Some games lately, Zubac kind of struggled. Like he struggled against the Sixers and he struggled against Embiid. And we saw JaVale McGee get a lot of run off the bench and play really well. Honestly, would not be surprised if Luke Walton decides to start McGee here, but I'm just going with it, or going into this thinking that Zubac continues to start. So Zubac at 5,100, I really like this matchup for him against the Clippers. On Yahoo, I think he's a really good play over here as well at $14. Centers that have a good offensive game that can score against the Clippers is something I like to target. The Clippers just don't have any good defensive centers. Gortat's really slow. He's old. He's just not good defensively. And Montrezl Harrell's just not big enough. He's undersized to where he could really struggle against Zubac as well, at least defensively. I could see a 2010 game coming from Zubac like he had against Phoenix where he played 35 minutes and had 24 and 16, 52 DraftKings points. I would not be surprised if we get 35, 40 DraftKings points out of Zubac today. Obviously, he's a little bit risky because if he's not playing well and JaVale McGee comes off the bench and is playing really well, there's a chance Zubac's minutes are very, thin, like he only plays like 15, 20 minutes. But if Zubac comes out hot and is playing really well, which I think he can here in this matchup, we could see him play big minutes and continue to be a really good play at this price tag. Just love the matchup for Zubac. Really hard for me to ignore him on this slate. So I like him at center as a value play if you do want to go cheap here. And if you think Zubac struggles, then you can definitely take a shot at JaVale McGee. Because if Zubac's struggling, there's a good chance McGee plays big minutes and is probably going to be pretty productive and be a good value at his price. But I think that's it for center. I think that's it for the video, guys. So hopefully you did enjoy this video, and hopefully it did help you. If you enjoyed, make sure you click that like button down below. Make sure you subscribe if you have not already. If you do have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section or hit me up on Twitter at the DFS_GOAT. But yeah, good luck tonight on this 6-game slate. We will see you in the next video. Peace.